Hello, my sweet friends. Welcome to the Art Cake Coach podcast. My name is Cristina Revalo. I'm a sugar paste modeling artist, a teacher, a coach for cake artists, Cake Friends Day creative community manager, award winning cake decorator, and representative of international cake competitions. I'm so happy to have you here. If you are a cake artist, a cake enthusiast, or a baker who is seeking some help, in anything related to your time management, social media management, setting your goals for yourself or your business, your mindset towards your business, or even a few hints of how to be part of the international cake community, cake collaboration, and cake competitions, you are in the right place. So, welcome to today's episode. And this month, the Art Cake Coach podcast is brought to you by Saracino. It's sponsored by Saracino. Saracino Dolce products, they are amazing. They are my go-to products when I need to make any topper. I especially use their modeling paste, pasta model. It comes in different colors, ready to use, and for me is a great fit for any of the pieces that I make, even for cake collaborations or cake competitions. And also, of course, their free monthly magazine, We Love Pastry, that you can download for free every single month. In each issue, you will find a lot of beautiful tutorials by very talented artists from around the globe, and you can enjoy reading interesting interviews and blogs. And of course, check out all the creations made by all of you using Saracino products. I will be leaving all the links for downloading this month's magazine here in the descriptions of this episode. Thank you so much, Saracino, for being part of the Art Cake Coach. Well, hello, my sweet friends. Welcome to another episode of the Art Cake Coach podcast. Today we have a very, very special guest. I love her to death. She's adorable, and she has been there with me in Cake for Stay Creative since day one. Our dear Miriam Pearson is here from Sweet Creations in Ireland. Hello, Miriam.
Hello,
Welcome.
hello.
How are you today?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. The sun is shining, so I'm good.
Great. Sun shining in Ireland, it's a
Yeah.
good thing.
It's a good thing when the sun shines in the summer. It's a bonus.
Yeah, it's true. Great. I'm so happy to have you here. You're our second guest here in the Art Cake Coach podcast. I have so many art cakes. I don't know what art cake I'm in right now, but this is the Art Cake Coach podcast, and I'm very happy that you're here today because, as I promised everyone on the previous episode, and we're going to be talking about cake competitions. The Cake International is coming back. There are a lot of cake competitions. They are going back live. We have, even though we've been having a lot of online competitions, but the real thing is coming back. And I
Yeah.
think it's great to, incentivize the people to go and participate and to be part of it. But there's a lot of things to cover when
Yes.
cake competitions come in. And I know you're an expert. You've been there. You've been in that rodeo for a long time, so you can help us today. I
Sure.
always said to my listeners, like, if I don't know, I'm gonna find out somebody who knows it. So I think today you're the one who
I'm the
knows
one.
about
I'm it.
this.
I'm it.
You're it, Miriam. So
Cool.
welcome.
Yeah.
Tell us about you a little bit, so people who doesn't know you get to know you.
So, for anyone who doesn't know me, it's I run my businesses, Sweet Creations in Ireland, and I do sugar flowers. That's my kind of passion, I guess. I've been running my business for 20 years next April, so almost 20 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, I've an online shop and I sell my flowers and send them all over the world. So that's what I do. A lot of people they like making the cakes, but they don't like making the flowers, or, they're just doing their own cakes. And I guess during lockdown, everyone started to bake and decorate cakes. So
Sure.
now they've done it. So I do, that's my kind of day and night job most days, because it's 14-hour days most days. But also what I do is I'm a competition junkie, so I've been competing for forever. I've been competing probably since I was 9 years old, all sorts of different competitions, baking and cake decorating. And now I really only do sugar flowers as my competition work. So that's what I do. So I kind of travel. I would like to travel a lot more, but I do travel all around with the competitions and kind of tend to bring them on planes with me and boats and everything. So yeah, that's
Great.
basically
How,
what I
how
do.
is how is the experience of traveling by plane with sugar flowers?
It is nerve wracking,
I
especially
guess.
the X-ray is the worst. The X-ray is my least favorite part, but I've got a few tricks of what I do when I'm bringing a piece on a plane. So the first thing I do is my box. I plan it so that it will be in hand luggage, obviously. So I always have to keep my piece quite small. So I plan it that I'll have it in hand luggage. I'll have a window in the box, which
Okay.
has cellophane on it or whatever, but a window. So at least I can say to them on X-ray, this is what's in the box. It's fragile. I'll have a photograph maybe of the piece, and they can see into the box as well as the X-ray. They can
Oh,
physically
that's
see
good.
in.
That's an excellent idea.
Yeah, and sometimes they'll open it, sometimes they won't, and that's okay. I'll always bring spares, in case something gets chipped or broken. So you have a repair kit, kind of. Um, 9 times out, I've never had too much trouble at X-ray. Last year, going to Birmingham, my piece got tipped over on the side, but it really didn't get much damage. Just that
Okay.
things got tipped a little small bit, but it was easy enough to fix. But I always would have a repair kit with me for that reason. Or you can bump something as you're setting it up, and at least you've got something then. So yeah, the X-ray is always interesting. Generally, I'll find they're good if you're good with them and you tell them, look, this is what's in it. It's fragile, and they're pretty good to
They're
take care
pretty,
of.
yeah, they're okay
Yeah,
with it. Yeah,
yeah,
they won't
yeah.
get too picky with that.
Yeah,
Great.
and a little trick what I do is I'll get it in under the seat in front of me, so when we're on landing and takeoff, I can put my toes under it and lift it off the ground, so I absorb the shock. So I've little
That's
tricks,
good.
kind of. Yeah, yeah.
Is I think it's worse than traveling with a baby. I mean, you
It
just
is worse, I presume. I don't have babies, but I presume. But
yeah.
it's I'm the Irish one with the feet under the box that looks very dodgy on the plane. But I'm
That's
just
you.
trying to save my flowers.
Yeah, I'm not scared of the flight. I'm
I
just trying to
swear I'm
keep
not
my
dodgy.
flowers safe. That's good. That's good.
So yeah,
Yeah, because that's one of the, well, we're gonna get into that later.
yeah,
But
yeah.
for me, that's one of the things that even to consider what piece I'm going to make
Uh-huh.
is the transportation. I know the plane is involved, so I'm going to try to make something that is wow, but that I can transport, that I know it's going to be safe. All of that has to be taken into consideration,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And quite often when I am traveling on the plane, I won't bring it assembled. So I'll bring Barrett's a potted plant, let's say. That has to be obviously. But if
Mhm.
it's an arrangement, I'll bring the flowers wrapped in bubble wrap in a suitcase that'll fit it. That's my hand luggage size.
Yeah.
So I've got like the case is more than half bubble wrap because I bubble wrap
Yeah.
everything, and I normally would get to the hotel. So let's say, for example, Cake International, I'll go the day before, or most competitions, I'll go the day before. I can
Yeah.
unpack and then I can assemble it in my room, and then bring it across assembled. So and then coming home is entirely different because you just whack it into the bag. You're not never as careful, but going out, that's normally if it's an arrangement, I'll bring it flat packed, as I say, and then bring my spares and assemble it in the hotel room and bring it across.
You
Yeah.
see, guys, 6 minutes from the beginning of this podcast, and you already have like five takeaways from this. The plane, take the piece, wrap in bubble wrapped, like finish it in your room. So you have, you
Yeah,
see, this episode is promising.
and
Okay.
never wrap it in cotton wool. Never ever wrap it in cotton wool because the cotton wool can snag on
Oh,
petals and
interesting.
leaves, and then you're going to lose points for it. So bubble wrap all the way, or the beans. The polystyrene bean.
Yeah,
The
the little ones. Hmm.
filler bean. No, not the beanbag beans because they get everywhere. The filler beans. They're like the peanuts.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
peanut
Hmm.
nuts.
Yeah.
They'll work as well. And if I'm traveling by car, so if I'm doing one here at home, if I'm traveling by car, I'll put it in a box. I'll put a non-slip mat in the box. I'll put my piece on the non-slip mat. and I'll seal the box with a window in it. So put a window again. So it's sealed in case it's raining when I'm carrying it in, or in case it's, windy. And what I do then is I put a blanket on the floor of the car or the van, and I put my box on the blanket. So two things I always do is the blanket on the floor so it'll absorb the shock. The second thing I do is I never place my piece over the wheels of the car, because that's
Okay.
where the most bounce is. So just push it forward or push it back uh, on your blanket, and then it'll travel safely.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Great. Great.
All right.
Awesome. That is very useful tips. I
Easy,
wish I
easy
could
things.
drive to Birmingham, but it's a
I
little bit
know.
long from Portugal.
I know.
So, yeah. And I'm not used for me to drive in the other side of the road. So I don't think so. I
Yeah.
don't think England is ready for me driving over there. So, yeah, but great, great ideas.
Yeah. Good.
Okay, so let's start with the first thing.
Hmm.
Why people should compete in cake competitions? What is the point of all of this
What
for
is
you?
the point? For me, why I compete is lots of reasons. There are lots. Mostly the reason that I compete is because I'm challenging myself to improve.
Great.
Actually 10 out of 10 times I'm making a piece that I would probably never get a chance to make otherwise. So it might be a big flower arrangement, or if you're into cakes, it might be your dream wedding cake that you'd never get paid to make. So I'm making something that I'd probably never otherwise get a chance to make. It's very good for business because you're doing something that's so outside the box and people are seeing it, and it's like, this is possible from sugar. Because a lot of the people that are maybe seeing your stuff online, they're not cake makers. They don't understand what you can do with sugar, and they don't understand the extent of it. So it's huge for business. For me, it's been a massive platform for my career, actually, because I have, completely down to competition work, I've been lucky enough to represent Ireland twice. So I've
Nice.
represented at the Culinary Olympics with the team of chefs, and I've represented at the European Bakery Cup with the bakers. Um,
Awesome.
and that was purely down to me competing, and them, the team leaders will say, seeing my work and saying, bring you on board. I've gotten a few things in the pipeline for 2023 and 24, which are exclusively down to my competition work. So it leads to a lot of other things. And I know some of the amazing competitors. I know a lot of the chefs in particular over here, and the cake makers, and it's led to huge career opportunities for them.
Oh
So it's
yeah.
kind of, people are afraid of it. But the biggest thing I would always say I'll say with most competitions, I think probably most of our competitions, you're not competing against each other, you're only against yourself. And people don't
Perfect.
realize that. So they go in and it's like, oh my God, Christine is beside me and her piece is amazing and my piece looks awful. It doesn't matter. We can both have a gold medal, we can both have a silver medal, whatever it is. There is an overall result of a first, second, third place, but each piece will get the merit that it deserves. So we can all bag golds.
Yeah.
Um, and for me, that's why I compete, because it's opened up huge opportunities for me,
Oh,
that
I
I
love it.
definitely wouldn't have had on otherwise. Yeah.
I love that you say that because that has always been my message in everything that I do, even in a couple of episodes here in this podcast. We are our biggest competition. We compete with
Sure.
ourselves. We try to improve ourselves.
Yeah.
And every time you go, I've always been physically to a competition once, but
Mm.
that made me realize, like, yeah, my work is good, but it can be better. So
Yeah.
you push yourself. So I think that's great that you mentioned that, because a lot of people are afraid to participate. Oh, because this famous
Such a
person is
one is
going,
out.
or this
Yeah.
person that, like, Miriam has been in competitions for years. Why?
Yeah.
How am I going to compete with her? But no, it's a different game. It's a game that you compete with
Yeah.
yourself. You improve
And it's
yourself.
and it's a game of nerves, for certain. It's a game of
Oh
nerves
yeah.
because, but the beauty of what we do is, of our competitions, is you've got, so schedules are normally out maybe 6 months ahead, or 5 or 6 months ahead of time. So you've got lots of time to come up with a piece and plan it, make the mistakes, redo it, and get it right. And you go in, you put it on the table, and you walk away. Go to the bar.
Yeah, have a
Straight to
drink,
the bar.
travel the
but
city, and come back
but
next day.
your work is done. So your
Yeah,
the hard work is done then, and then it's a waiting game, and then it's a game of nerves. You know that
yeah.
you wait.
Oh yeah,
But
then the results come, and
yeah, and I mean the
all the
thing is,
emotions come out.
the tears and the ugly cries and all of that sort of stuff. But
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the work is
I'm so
done.
emotional. I mean, even though I get
Ah,
a, I don't know, some whatever I get a lollipop and I get emotional on it. So it's like, I'm happy with it. It's like great. Yeah, you can give me just a golden star and I'll be happy. That's it.
sticker.
But yeah, yeah, it is a challenge. I'm very happy. Also, you mentioned that it's good for business because
Mm,
I've heard a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's just a waste of my time and my money,"
no,
because I'm working for something that nobody's gonna pay me back. But no,
no,
wait,
there you're
you're gonna
missing.
get
It's
so
not yet.
much in return
Yeah, yeah,
from it.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's not about money. It's absolutely not about money at all. It's all the other benefits that it
yeah,
gives you. And I mean, even something like it's the cake community is
yes,
such a tight knit community. I
yeah,
mean, we've seen that only today. With what's gone on today, but like
yes,
it's such a tight knit community, and everyone is there for your back. I mean, we'll talk about disqualifications later. I've had disqualifications, and we'll talk about that as well. But like the last time that I got disqualified, as we've spoken earlier,
see,
I
yeah,
got messages from all over the world, and they were all from my cake people that you're like, oh my God, they've seen what's happened and they've reached
yeah,
out.
and they were
It's all of
supportive
that.
of you.
It's
Yeah,
everything. It's such
yeah.
and it's such a proud thing to have a piece on the table at the competition.
Oh yeah,
It's
it is. It
huge,
is.
hugely proud.
It
Yeah,
is important. That's
yeah,
so good. That's so good.
hmm
So that comes when you mentioned you already mentioned your your disqualification,
uh
and of course that comes to the questions of rules and regulations, right? There are a
sure.
lot of rules and a lot of regulations in order to participate in any cake competition,
Yeah,
and there are some that are more strict with the rules. Others they bend the rules a little bit. Then you have different kinds of competitions. But if you want to go for the real deal, the following these regulations is crucial for the
yes.
success of your piece. So can you tell us a little bit your experience with that, or how do you manage? How do you read all the regulations? Do you know like every
Yeah,
little inch of everything to make sure?
every
How do you do
single
it?
letter, every single
Okay.
letter, every letter,
Yeah.
leave nothing out. So what I do is when I go for a competition, I'll print out the schedule and I'll
Okay.
print out the rules and make certain that you print them out. What I do then is I'll scan through it. So for me, it's sugar flowers. So I'll scan through it and I'll say, right, there's the sugar flower classes. That's the one I fancy, or two or three, or I've done up to 24 competitions in one show. So I'll
Wow.
scan through and I'll see. What I'll do then is, let's say, for example, I'm doing a competition of flower arrangement and the theme is spring. Okay. So then what I will do is I'll go to my competition, I'll highlight that it's an arrangement, that it's spring theme. I'll highlight all the vital parts in the description and in the title, the size, can I use artificial decorations? Can I use, for example, a lot of competitions now, they're allowing cake competitions, they're allowing like lights and electrical. So are you allowed to use those?
Yeah.
For the flowers, can I use? Sometimes you're allowed to use feathers, or
Okay.
a lot of times you're not, but sometimes you are. So I'll highlight everything with a highlighter pen. I'll highlight
Great.
everything. Then I'll go to the rules and I'll highlight everything that I need to know there on the rules. So the setup time, the date of the show, because when it comes to the week of the show, you're like, where's this? Where's this? So I highlight it all. Um, for example, Cake International will go in through door 17.4. So I'll highlight that. So on the
Okay.
morning when you're going with your cake or you're going with your piece, I know there's exactly where I need to go. And the time I have to be my cut off time.
Yeah.
So I highlight all of those things, read it, read it, read it. I have tripped up, I've been disqualified. I'll give you an example. 3 years ago, probably now in Dublin, the title of the competition was Weeds and Wildflowers. So I made blackberries and I made nettles. Okay.
Okay.
Didn't get the nettles finished, thought that's fine. I have my blackberries, I have the weeds, the wildflowers, whatever I
Yeah.
need to.
Yeah.
I got disqualified because it was weeds and wildflowers.
So
So
you
I
had to
only
have
had
more
the
than
one.
one kind of wildflowers.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
there was my disqualification for that. So stupid, but completely my own fault
But
because
it
it's so
just because of the
one
plural of
word.
the word in the
One word.
title. Yeah.
Yeah, the word was and. So
Mhm.
also it'll tell you, is it a flower arrangement? Is it a flower bouquet? Is it a
Yeah.
corsage? What is it you've got to make? So you need to highlight all of those things. And it's just, it's the most important part because that's
Yeah.
where people fall down mostly. Like I say, when I was disqualified on that, totally my own fault. I had it read, but I skimmed through it. Um, I didn't sink in what it was both. And I
Exactly.
just took it, So it's things like that. And you'll never make that mistake twice. I can tell you that.
For
You
sure.
will only
You
do
learned
it
the
once.
hard way.
Another huge area where people fall down is there is always a size limit, always.
Oh, the size limits.
Okay,
Yes.
and that's a massive thing. People will have, let's say, on a cake or on flowers, leaves hanging out. So they might be hanging. Your board might be the right size, but your leaf or petal or something might be hanging out over the edge. So you're out. You're disqualified. And it's the very first thing that a judge will do. They'll sit down. They'll do the measurements. Has she got the right size? Has she got a flower arrangement? If it says an arrangement, has she got a 3-tier cake and not a 4-tier cake? If it says it has to be 3-tier. So there, it's the basics. Get the
Yeah.
basics 100% right. Um, and and when I'm measuring, I'll measure. I keep measuring it to be certain. And I hold kind of a ruler up the side, upward,
Yeah.
upright at the sides to make sure there's nothing hanging out.
You know what I
And
did with the modeling piece when I went to Rome? I built because it was 25 by 25 centimeters the piece. So I built a cardboard box of
yeah,
that, and I just every time I just put something else, I just put the box on top and make sure
yeah,
everything was
and
in
make
the box.
certain. Yeah,
Okay, so it's good. I can keep going.
yeah,
Otherwise, because of the height of the
yeah.
doll, I mean, one hair a little bit higher,
Oh,
and I will
one
be out.
millimeter. One
Yes,
millimeter is enough to
yes,
knock you.
yeah.
And that's where a lot of people will get knocked out without realizing because you get so into your piece and you get carried
Yes,
away
I've seen
and
it, and it's so
you
sad
lose
because you
yourself.
see these amazing pieces, and
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a simple rule that they have is if you're doing, say, the wedding cake or a tiered celebration cake, you must treat it like real cake. So you must have a cake board between tiers, even though they're dummies. You must have a cake board between tiers. I saw it's probably 5 or 6 years ago, the most magnificent cake probably that I've seen ever at Cake International. The finest flower work, the finest pipe work. She got disqualified because she'd no cake card between the tiers.
oh my
It
god,
was stunning. I mean, it was best in show in my
yeah,
eyes.
that's
It was
so
stunning,
sad. Yeah.
but because of that, so and things like that are just they're a killer. You know,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They're
All-
very strict with the rules. They
they
are.
have to be. You see, because the problem is if you follow the rules and I don't, and I win and you don't,
Yeah.
then there's uproar. So
Oh,
they
I.
have to
Yeah.
follow. But people people kind of say, oh, they're only dummy cakes. Doesn't matter. The rules are there. You must
Yeah.
follow them.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
And another thing, if that I've seen, not on me because I always participate in modeling. That's the only thing I do.
Uh-huh.
But people who participate in different categories, each category, even I was reading the schedule for the modeling. Entries on Cake International for this year. They have three. They have the 60 by 60 centimeters, they have the 25, and they have the 15. They have a mini one this year.
Mm-hmm.
And even between those three categories, they're all modeling, they have different sizes, but they have different rules. Like
Yes.
in one,
Yeah.
you can use lights, in the other, you cannot.
Yeah.
In one, you
Yeah.
can use certain things, in the other, you cannot. In one, the board is one size, one thickness, and
Yeah.
the other one, the board should be thinner because it's a smaller piece. So all of these little details have
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
taken into
It is,
consideration.
and if it's a case I mentor multiple exhibits, if I'm
Yeah.
doing multiple entries, I'll do a clipboard for each entry, and I'll
Oh,
have everything
great.
highlighted because otherwise you're flicking back and forth, and it just gets very confusing, in the end. So that's the way I do it, on those.
Love it. A very organized lady.
Yeah,
That's my kind
it's
here.
the only way to do it because then
It
it
is.
makes it easier. Come showtime, it's done. It's there in front of you, and unless you're somebody like me that doesn't read the word and, You're good.
Oh, it happens to all of us in different. I mean, it could happen to anyone. Now, tell me about this because, of course, for you is flowers, right?
Yeah.
But how would you recommend somebody that is new, maybe it's the first time participating? Let's say somebody like me. I like painting cakes. I like modeling. Not flowers. Flowers is not my thing. But I can. Okay, so how do I choose the one that I say? Okay, I'm going. Would you recommend a person to choose their entry if they
They're
have
in
to choose
which
one?
class, if they were going to choose
Yes.
which class. So I would say to you, so you read through it. So you're really only going to be looking at three classes.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be looking at the three modelling classes, let's say. So if you just want to put in one entry, I mean, you could do a few, just saying, but
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about
so
it.
if I decided, okay, I'm definitely only going to do one. Now, number one, I never stick to that. I always end up doing a few. But anyway, I
Yeah.
would say, is there a theme that jumps out at you more? Are you restricted? I mean, some of the modelling ones will be very big kind of sizes. So is that going to mean if you only can bring a small piece in your luggage, is it going to look, you know, that might be, it might be a theme that might jump out at you a little bit more.
Yeah.
The other thing is with the schedule coming out so early. So this year it was out in May for Cake International, and normally they are, like say, 5, 6 months. I can go away and I can say, right, they're the three classes I like. Let me write down ideas for them, and I'll go away and I'll come
Okay.
back.
Good.
And then it's like, no, I'm not really feeling that one. So don't make a kind of an instant decision. And because, so say for example, Cake International is the one that I suppose we know so well. The schedule was out in May, but the entries don't have to be in until I think September.
Yeah.
So you've got 3, 4 months to play around, and then you can submit your entry, and you've still got time. Quite often I'll change. For example, for flowers, I'll make flowers that I like, and then I'll fit them in, or to a theme, bar it's a colour. So often I will change, but you've got that bit of time between getting the schedule and having to
Yeah.
submit your entry form, and then to get it finished, you still have another couple of months like to get it finished.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Great. Great.
yeah, it might be a team. It might be so. For example, you're going to be flying over. Can you physically bring the electronics? If you were doing the one with lights, can you physically bring that? So if you can't, well, that's that one out.
All of that should be taken into
So
consideration. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. How are you going to be traveling? Can you bring them over?
Yeah.
So say for example, probably your easiest option is the little small one that you can bring. It's nice and handy in hand luggage, especially for the first time. I'd say go on a smaller one. If it's something like the flowers, I mean, with any competition, no matter what you're bringing, um, look at the piece, pick what you want, but when you go to make it, you must get the basics right. So, for example, if you're doing a cake, if the cake is covered and it looks really bad, don't bring it. Strip it and redo it. Don't have fingerprints. Don't have dirty marks.
Yeah.
Don't have any creases. That's basic kind of cake decorating 101. You must never have a board showing. So you need to check on the rules. I'm pretty certain it'll tell you if you're allowed to cover the cake boards in ribbons. Some competitions allow it, some don't. Some want an edible ribbon, so it'll be made out of fondant. So you'd never have a silver board exposed. It's always covered with either fondant or
Or a
ribbon.
ribbon. Yeah.
If you're putting simple thing, putting ribbon on a board, make certain it's neat and tidy. It's cut. It's not frayed. It's not too big for the board. Too
Yeah. That's
tall.
another thing. Sometimes they stick out a little bit. No, they have to really
Mustn't
stitch
must
that.
be flush, and they're all your basics that you would do day to day anyway for a competition.
Yeah.
If you're doing a modelling, you don't want to see the join in an arm. You want it
Yeah.
polished and you want it kind of looking. The way I think about it is what you want to do is you want to get the judges to look and say, how did you do that?
Yeah.
You know, and to do it. And kind of just get all your basics. So if you the way most competition schedules work is when you go in, you put your piece on the table, you've got 100%. So you've a gold medal. Now the judge's job is to take that off you. So if
Okay.
you
Got it.
have the ribbon is rough, knock you down a mark. If the icing isn't clean and tidy and smudge free, knock you down more marks. If you're got fingerprints on it, down marks, and you'll keep knocking back down. So you're not starting at zero, you're starting at 100, and their
Oh, that's
job then.
interesting. That's interesting
Yeah,
that you mentioned that.
yeah, it's an interesting way of looking at it. And then So, say for example, I think it's above 85% is 100, so you'd only have dropped 15 marks.
Okay.
I've seen a few 100% that have never dropped a mark. I've seen a few of those that are just immaculate.
Awesome.
I've never gotten that. I can tell you now.
You
But
will. You will this year.
but yeah. But yeah, so the thing is, get your basics absolutely right. If you're doing royal icing, make certain that there's no joins in the royal icing. You want to polish them,
Keep it
and kind of
smooth. Yeah.
all of those. That's your starting point. And then the judges will look at the design, the concept, the color. Is it complementary? Does it fit the theme? Apart from all the basics like the size, they'll look at all of those kind of things. How many techniques? A big no-no for a competition is molds, is using molds.
Yeah,
What
I've heard that one. I've heard
they
that
call
one.
it, liquid and stick
I've
it.
heard about a piece that was stunning. I saw it online because I wasn't
Mhm.
there, and I asked somebody who was there, is like, how come did that piece didn't win? It was most of the work was made with molds, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, okay,
Yeah,
got it,
so they
got it.
call that lick it and stick it. So
Okay,
you put it into a mold, you take it out, you stick it on the cake. There's
yeah,
no skill. There's no skill.
okay,
You must show skills. You want to show a variety of skills. So, for example, if I was doing a cake, so covering the cake is a skill, piping is a skill. If you want to have a molded effect, then you would pipe the mold, pipe the things. You have got the opportunity as well. Usually, you've got the opportunity to put a note with it to say no molds were used, or, for
okay.
example, if you're using something different for hair,
Mm-hmm.
people used to use pasta. That's not allowed now, but people used to use pasta for hair, and you'd steam it that it softens and everything. Um, if you're doing something like that, you need to make certain it's in the schedule. So corn husk was another one that was often used.
Yeah, yeah. I
I
don't know
think
if it's okay
no,
this year. I
because
don't think so.
technically it's not edible.
Yeah.
So um, normally what I would do if I want to make dirt for a cake or for flowers or whatever, I'll go to the cupboard and I'll say, right, what's there? Some muesli, crushed cookies, um, coconut sprayed, airbrushed or coloured. All of those dried seaweed, they're all edible, but they'll all make good textures and good. So
Okay.
get outside the box and think. Don't just look in your what you're doing on your cakes. You want to look on that, and kind of just step back and look at it. And
Awesome.
that's the other thing I'd say is I'd never do a piece start to finish in a few days. I work over them for months on end. So
Yeah.
I'll make all the parts and I'll step back. Sometimes I'll make flowers and I'll just ditch them because no, they're not fitting in or they're not working, and I'll park them up. Um, if I'm making a piece, so if you're doing it for a cake, you might do different colours. Little things I do is I never colour icing in artificial light. I always colour it in daylight.
Okay, so you can
Um,
really see the
you
the
can
the
really see the
tone.
colours. So it's
Hmm.
all little things like that, because if you colour it at night time and you go back the next morning, it's jumping out at you, it's going to jump out at a judge.
Yeah.
So it's get your basics right, make certain that they're right, and after that it's show lots of skill without overdoing it, but show lots of skill.
Yeah,
Um,
because sometimes overdoing it and exaggerating just make
it's
it
too
worse.
much. It's too
That's
much.
that's what I always say to myself because I
Yeah,
tend to overwork it,
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
and it just I mess it up. So I
yeah.
just keep it simple, keep it
Yeah,
simple,
yeah.
keep
And
it
I tend to
neat.
do too much as well, because, and then I trip myself up because then I'm falling back on things that I've done too much that I didn't need to do.
Exactly.
So yeah, things like that. Another really, really important thing as well is never to reveal your piece. So we're
Beforehand.
all
Yeah.
on social media and we're all kind of, I've entered Cake International, can't wait, can't wait. You must, any of the competitions has to be anonymous.
Even on the day of the competition, you shouldn't
Even on the
reveal it,
day,
right? Yeah.
you cannot reveal it until the results are out and until the results are online.
Yeah.
It's a golden rule. So, for example, two things, and I've seen them all happen. You never reveal it, so there can be nothing on your cake that will identify you.
Okay.
Initials, anything else, can't be anything on your cake that will identify you, because then it becomes, they know whose work it is, and
Yeah.
it's not a
And it
fair
could
judge.
get, yeah, it could get, yeah,
Okay.
subjective.
And the other thing that I've seen happen is, so you and I are at the competition and you're there, you discreetly tell me that's your piece. Judges sitting at your piece judging it, and I come and say, oh my God, Christina, it's gorgeous. now the judge knows it's your piece, so they can't judge it. They won't actually, I think, judge it
Really,
if it's
that's
been
so good to
identified.
know because
Yeah.
I will be like,
Um,
oh, everything's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
No,
pretty.
it's
Yeah.
really, really be careful. Really, I normally wait. It is a waiting game, but I wait and wait and wait. And when I see people starting to post theirs, I'll check, is it online, and then go. And then
Yeah.
I'll hammer it in everywhere. I can tell you that. But
Yeah.
you must wait, because the reason being is it has to be anonymous. But also, if there's any query or any problems or any something that they've missed, they can always go back to your piece and they can rejudge it and get, two or three judges in on
Yeah.
it at a time. So if it's been identified, they can't. It has to be anonymous.
Oh, perfect. It's
Yeah.
great to know
Be
that.
very
Great to know
careful of
that.
that. And
That's a
don't
valuable
share it
piece
on
of
social
information.
media. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't identify somebody else's work and don't share it on social media until you're 100%
Yeah.
um
Yeah,
that it's
especially
good to
like,
go.
yeah, and not even on place. Like if you're there and you just go like, Look at this. This is mine."
Yeah, yeah.
No, you shouldn't do
No,
that.
no, no, no.
Okay,
I mean,
perfect.
generally it's all roped off anyway, but I have seen judges over here and somebody identifying work.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
they're in a very sticky situation too, because now it's like, well, I can't judge it. Uh,
yeah, yeah.
so it's just
Yeah, that put the judge in a difficult situation. Yeah,
exactly, exactly,
yeah.
yeah.
You
Um,
mentioned, and well, now talking about the rules and the regulations, you mentioned some of the mistakes that people get or can happen, and to in order to get disqualified, right?
yes,
Anything else
that's
you want to add to that? We mentioned the in your case, in the I know in the flower category, the wires are a big deal, right? The how
yeah.
much wire you show or you don't show.
Yeah. So, say for example, I mean, you wouldn't be disqualified over, but you would definitely lose points. It's like what they say is don't show the mechanics. So if
Okay.
I've done a flower arrangement, they don't want to see how all the wires are stuck into the oasis or the
Yeah.
board or whatever you're doing. So you want to hide it. So you'll put in plenty of foliage, and you'll, as a flower arrangement would be, like I say, you want them to figure out how you've done it. But if
Okay.
it's something very specific or a new technique that you've come up with, once it's all above board and it's working, write a little note to say, now don't write it and sign it, but write a little note and say,
Like, hi, I'm
hi,
Christina.
dear
This is
judge,
what,
dear
dear
judge.
judge.
By the way, there's a fiver under the board there. But don't. So what you can do is you can say, no molds have been used. I've created this technique, blah blah, and you have a chance to kind of. Usually, if you've any queries, you can always email. There's usually an email for a competition secretary. You'll have a
Okay.
limited time to email them with any queries. Can I do this? There's also groups on Facebook for competition um,
Okay. That's good to know.
groups that
Yeah.
you could go in, and because often people are doing it for the first time, and you can go in and say, look, I'm thinking about doing this. Do you think, is it allowed? And there's girls in the group. There's one particular group on it. There's girls in the group. They'll go back to the competition schedule on your behalf, and then they'll put the answer in the group so everybody learns and
Yeah.
benefits.
Okay.
Um, and that's a big thing. Most disqualifications I see are for simple, basic things like what we've talked about. So, for example, size, that's a huge one for being
Signs.
disqualified.
Okay.
Uh, like I say, you get in on a piece and you get carried away. So, if to do a 3 tier wedding cake, oh, we'll put on another tier and it'll be even nicer. No, it won't, because you'll be disqualified. I mean, yes, it will be nicer, but you'll be disqualified.
Okay.
Um, all of those basics are the biggest thing for disqualifications. It can be, and I have had disqualification for how I interpreted a description and how the judges had intended it to be interpreted. It's a bit of a grey area, because if you've got artistic license, we'll say, kind of. But if I've read it and it has said I've to do an arrangement of flowers and I have to use a musical instrument, let's say,
Okay.
for example. So if I make the arrangement of flowers and if I put an instrument into the arrangement, so it's in the middle of it, but then they had meant, no, you needed to arrange it directly on the instrument.
Okay. So
So you
yeah,
can get
that's
it.
that gray area that you're like,
It's that
okay,
thing.
yeah.
If anything there, you can query it with the secretary, and it's heartbreaking. I mean, I
Hmm.
haven't had a huge amount, but I have had disqualifications, and sometimes you just feel really stupid, and sometimes it's like, no, hang on, I thought I had interpreted and you didn't. There's a rule in the rules that says judge's decision is final, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, you have
Look it
just
up.
to accept it. But it's
It's
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it's
You know
heartbreaking.
what? Oh, it's a heartbreaker. A
Yeah,
100%, it's a heartbreaker, and but you will never make the same mistake twice, or you'll
of course.
query it more the next time. But when you take it, what I would say to you is, and it's the same for results, when you put on your piece, and in our eyes, we're all gold medal winners and first place winners, but in reality, we're not. They're very rare,
Yeah.
very, very rare thing. But what I would do is, when you get your results, usually there's the opportunity to talk to the judges. So there'll be an allocated time for critiques. If there's not, you generally will get a critique in writing, or notes on your piece, or that score sheets and all that. If you're disappointed with your results, so if you think it's a gold medal and you only get a merit, let's say, or you get disqualified, or whatever it is, speak to the judge and say, where did I go wrong, what did I do, and they will say, you've got this, you're outsized, you've damaged pieces and all.
Oh, that's good
um,
that you have the chance to have
or
that.
usually you do have it. It'll be written in it if you do have that. And you do get a chance to speak to them. Now, bear in mind that they're human beings, and it is exhausting judging. It is an exhausting job. I've done it, and I do it. But once the judge can stand over their reasoning as to why you got the results you got, happy days, and you
Yeah.
learn from it. But as I say, whether you're disappointed or whether you just walk off and you won't speak to the judges, there's a rule in there that says judge's decision is final, and that's it. And you
And
need
that's
to,
it. Well,
and that's
yeah.
it. And you sign up for that when you sign
Oh
up.
yeah, when you purchase
Yeah,
that ticket.
you sign up. You sign up for disappointment and heartbreak.
Oh my God. So people read very carefully all the
Yes,
rules and regulations before you start working on your piece. In my part, for my very short experience on competitions, play to your strengths.
yes,
Don't compare yourself to others. Like, oh, like for example, I see the work. I've never been to Cake International, but I've seen it online, and I've seen the work of, for example, the Russian ladies
yes.
modeling, or the Japanese, Chinese people modeling, and it's mind blowing. They make the most beautiful, gorgeous dolls look like porcelain. And I mean, I like my dolls, but they don't look like those. And I'm like, am I going to compete with these people? What are my strengths? I like my little monsters. I like my fantasy things. So maybe I will go that way because that's the thing that I like, and I know that's my cup of tea. So play to your own strengths, and
Exactly.
and um, and have fun with it. I
Yeah.
guess it's
And
this
I,
is the
I
part that
think
you
it's important to do that, but because if you're doing a piece, comparing yourself to somebody else's work,
and just for the competition, like a
yeah,
mechanic thing. No,
yeah. And
yeah,
that's not your thing. So don't do it, because I think it's really important to do a piece that you will love, no matter what the result, doesn't matter. I
yeah.
can tell you now, putting a piece on the table, the pride you feel when you walk in, and set up, and I'll
This is my
talk about this.
baby. Yeah,
But when you put it on the piece and it's like, I made that, like I did
yeah,
that, and it's such a proud feeling, and it's all the after things when you can get to share it, no matter what the results are. But when you can get to share it and you can kind of say, it's huge. It's very humbling as well to be in among
yeah.
all those people. It really is. But definitely play to your strengths. If sugar flowers aren't your thing, don't enter sugar flowers.
No,
Models are your thing, so enter your models. You like your
exactly.
little voodoo and your little monsters, so work along those lines. And you can
Yeah,
create.
that's what I thought. But we'll see. I don't know. I have like thousand ideas. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I have a new idea every day,
I
but
know, I
we'll
know, I
see.
know.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. You talk a little bit about the judging system, and that was new for me because I actually thought it was a build up thing. That you
No,
start from zero and then they
no.
start giving you points for the good stuff. Where actually you start on the top and then
Uh-huh.
start taking off
Yeah,
from whatever mistakes they find.
yeah. Yeah.
Anything else that we should know about that system that could be of help for?
So yes, so basically they will go if it's something. So your basic work is the most. It's all important, but it's really really important to have your basic techniques and work. And then what's good is to see a variety of techniques. Like I said, so you've got 6 or 7
Good.
techniques, and they're all done really, really well. So, for example, if I'm making leaves for foliage for a piece, I'll make dozens of leaves. But if there's some of them misshapen or the veins are off center or whatever, I'll chuck them.
Hmm.
Um, and I'll pick out the very best. So if you were making a model and you were doing the hair on your model, or if you were doing pipe work on your cake, if it's not exactly right, take it off, start again. I can tell you now it's
Okay.
worth it. Don't just say it'll do, because you do get tired and and
Yeah.
all that. But it is important to have those done right and to show techniques. Very important to show innovation. So something new, something a little bit different. Now it's very hard to find something that's never been done before in the cake world, because there is such an array of kind of techniques and knowledge and everything out there now. But it's just doing it. Often I've seen the simplest of pieces winning the best awards
Yeah.
because they're
Yeah.
immaculate, they're polished, they're kind of, they're
That's my
done right.
thought. Like keep it simple and neat and
Keep it
yeah.
simple and neat and
Yeah.
tidy, and it
Yeah.
gets your foot in the door as well and gets you used to it, and it's not so overwhelming then when you're just like, so for example, your model will probably go on a board, so you can do a really nice board and have it
Yeah.
on it,
Cover
have
the
it
board
nice
in
and
a very special
yeah, yeah,
way. Yeah. Things like
yeah,
that.
and have all that, and get those things right. As I say, it's good that they have innovation, and you show skill. That's what they
Yeah.
want to see, is skill.
Good.
Yep, yep,
Excellent.
yep.
Excellent. What about the when you enter the how that happens? I mean, you get there, you got your piece, you came the day
Yep.
before, you have everything, the way you want it. How is it getting into that
Okay.
place and
So
setting up the
setup.
piece? Yeah.
Okay, so setup. So okay, normally I'll never sleep the night before a competition, and I'm competing for 40 years, believe it or not.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I never sleep the night before a competition, because in my head I'm going, have I got this and this and this and this? But I know I have. I know I've got it all, right?
Yeah, but you just go
So
like,
but maybe your head just goes. So what I do is, you've got a time slot, so you must be there. Let's say, for example, between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. So
oh,
let's
okay.
say that's your time slot. I would not be turning up to the hall at 5 to 9, because I guarantee you won't get your piece on the table. I would be there probably at 6 o'clock, to be honest,
As early as possible.
as
Okay.
early as possible. Get there as early as possible. So you've got your piece all done. Second thing I always have is a repair kit.
Okay.
So a kit, my repair kit, I did have it written down somewhere. So my repair kit would have extra flowers, extra leaves, extra petals in case I chip something. I've seen people walking to the table to put the piece down, and tripping, and
Oh
their
God.
piece is gone.
Oh my God.
You can't do anything at that stage. But anyway, that's worst case
Yeah.
scenario. So I'll have extra flowers. I'll have extra little pieces.
Are you
If you
allowed to
have
carry your piece in a box, or you have to
So
carry it?
generally you'll have a setup area. So you're not allowed to unpack your piece in the exhibition at the competition tables.
Okay.
So generally when you go in the door, there's rows of tables for setup. Now that's always manic, and that's another reason I go early, because that's always, everyone wants their space and everyone
Oh,
wants
got
their
it.
setup.
Yeah.
Um, I'll find a space, I'll unpack my piece, I'll check for any repairs. A really good tip when you're checking for repairs is a torch or your camera phone, one or the
Okay.
other. Get the torch on the piece, it'll spot pieces that you've missed, because judges will use a torch sometimes too, and
Okay.
it'll spot something you've missed, or a flaw or a crack or a break that you've time now to repair, because you're there 3 hours ahead of your
Perfect. So,
time to submit.
guys,
Okay,
be there early.
be there early. So I've got a repair kit. I can check my piece all over. My repair kit would include tweezers, because I'm shaking and my hands are nervous and my hands
Don't
are
tell
sweating.
me about it. Yeah. I
Telling
mean,
you.
I normally shake like every day.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Okay.
cannot believe how I will be that day. I will be like,
I'll have gin in my pocket.
I
Don't
will be
worry.
like, I don't know, dancing the mambo in there because I'm gonna ask somebody else. Could you just please check it? I don't
And
want to touch
actually,
it.
you can't,
No,
because
you can't. Yeah,
you need to remember as well, and it's an important point, your work must be solely your work. You can't
yeah.
have anybody helping you. In the setup, you can't have anybody, or in making your piece, it must be your work. Okay, so that is an important one, because I've seen that as well. People helping, working in a team. A guy
Oh,
a couple of years ago had to hand back he volunteered to hand back his medal because he didn't understand the rule and he had worked on it with a friend. So he handed it back.
Oh,
He
okay. Got
admitted.
it.
That
Got it.
was, yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
that's good.
So it
That's
must be
good.
your homework. So anyway, I've got tweezers. I have things like wet wipes so I can clean my hands because you're not going to be
Um,
near a sink. You're not going to have a wet cloth. So if you get dirty hands, wet wipes. I've got a ruler so I can check my measurements again and
okay.
again and again. Things can move, things can move about. I've got a dry brush, as in a dry makeup brush, so I
Okay.
can dust off any little bits that I need to dust off. Um,
Okay.
when I put my piece down on my exhibition spot, so normally, let me just go back a little bit. So when you arrive at the hall, you'll go to in Cake International, you will have girls sitting up at guys sitting up at desks, and they'll go A, B, C, D, E, F through to Z. I go to P for Miriam Pearson.
Mm-hmm.
I tell them who I am. They give me an envelope, and in that envelope, it is my exhibit or competitor's badge, which you must wear all weekend to get you in,
Okay.
and it's
Okay.
got two stickers. The stickers go on your piece, so one goes in the front where the judges can see it, and one goes underneath. That's for security.
Got it.
Um, you go up, you get your envelope, you find a spot on the setup table, go up, get your envelope, come back to your spot, get someone to just watch your box because, in case anyone tips it, come back. Now you can unpack your piece, you can check for all your flaws and everything. You put your labels on, so one in the front, one underneath. And once you're ready and you're ready to go, you then walk your piece in without the packing boxes and anything, because at the end of the day, they can cause damage to someone else's piece as well. So you walk into the hall and you will find category, whatever it is. You'll go to your category, so category A, B, C, and so on. You'll go
Okay.
to category. Let's say, for example, on the stickers you've put on your piece, your sticker says 15-1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that means then on the table, there'll be stickers, and you find your corresponding sticker on the table that says
Okay. With the
15-1,
number
and
that you
that's
were
where you place.
given. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's where you place your piece.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes in competitions, if it's a smaller competition, for example, there might just be class A, B, C, D, and you get the next available spot.
Okay.
So sometimes it just depends, but you'll also always have those number stickers going onto your entry piece because that identifies you for the competition secretary for the award. So when you win your gold medal, they look up number 15-1 in their in the competition schedule, and
Yeah.
they go, "That's Christina," and they can write the certificate then and the
With
awards
the
as
name.
appropriate.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the number keeps it anonymous as well.
Yeah.
So that's how it does it. What you do then is once you have your piece in place, I guard it like a little Jack Russell now, I can tell you. I don't walk away because
Yeah.
dare anyone touch it or move it. But
So you stay there until it's over, until you can go.
I wait, yeah, I wait as long as I can. So what I do is I will keep an eye out because it happens that competitors, they want their gap and they'll push somebody else aside. That's the reality. That will
Oh
happen.
God. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I can tell you, Jack Russell comes out. But what I do then is I go back and I pack up all my kit and my box. And actually, a good tip for it, if your competition box that you're bringing your piece in, if you can bring it in a collapsible box and your repair kit in a small box, because you're going to have to carry that for the day if you're not going back to the hotel or the car, if you don't have a car with you.
Okay. Okay.
Collapsible box into a plastic bag, and then you're not lugging around a big box because you can't leave it. If you leave it there, it's binned, and then you've nothing to
Okay.
pack it up to bring it home. So
Okay.
that's
Got it.
just a little kind of thing. You have to take away all that belongs to you, or it's scrapped. So yeah, so once I go in, put it on the table, I will keep an eye around because it does happen, and it's a pet hate of mine that people don't respect. But that's sometimes that does happen. So I'll just keep an eye. Generally, then what happens is once all the setup's done and it's 9 o'clock, everybody is cleared out. They will then tape off the area usually so it gives the judges space and room and privacy
Okay.
to
So people's not
do their
around
judging.
them while they're
Yeah,
judging.
yeah,
Okay.
because they people will hang around obviously, and then when the show opens, you come back in through the main door. So our setup door will be a slightly different door to the main door. So once the show opens, you come back in. I would say to you now that a lot of people will hang around when the judging is going on. He's on my piece. He's on my piece. It's of no use to you because you don't know what he's writing down and what he's saying. Go see the show. Go and have a proper
Yeah,
breakfast and go and meet your friends because
exactly. Yeah, because that's
so
another thing about the show. You're gonna see a lot of people there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what I would also do is on your competitor's badge write your name
Hmm.
because all of these people are following you online and it's like, is that Christina? I'm not sure. It is. I think it is. I'm not sure. And they don't want to come up, which I love meeting people,
Oh, I'd
and they
love
want
to. Please, yeah,
love
if
it.
you're
Write your
listening,
name
come
on
up
your
and say
badge.
hello to me because there's
Yeah.
so many people in our groups and
Yeah.
in our site
Yeah.
that we don't keep track of everyone.
No. No.
And
And you
sometimes
couldn't. You
people
couldn't
feel like,
possibly.
oh, I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
hello. Just say
Yeah.
hello.
So write
Come and say
write
hello.
your name on your thing. And what I
Yeah,
would say to you is when the show opens, your work is done. There's no more you can do because you can't touch your piece. If it's a thing you go and you see your piece has been nudged and broken, nothing you can do. But the only thing you can do is you can go find the secretary's office and you can say, look, my piece has just been moved or a piece has been damaged. That's not how I left it. Can they? And they can go. You
would you
can't.
recommend taking, for example, a picture when you left it, just in
Yeah,
case
it's
to
not going.
show?
You could,
Okay,
but it's not going to do a whole lot. The one thing I would always do is when I have my piece finished here at home, I take proper pictures of it, and I'd have them on my phone. So when it comes to upload pictures on social media, when the results are out, I can put up my proper pictures, if you like,
exactly.
because if you take a picture at the show, it's surrounded by else's pieces, and you don't get a nice picture.
Okay, okay,
And it's surrounded by the light is different. So the lights in Birmingham are yellow. They throw
okay.
a yellow color, and it's never the same. So I'll take one and I'll have them on the phone. So then when it comes to it, I can just throw those out that they're there and done. Um, and what else? Oh yes. So when, as I say, when you have, if you notice a problem on it, or you've forgotten to put your stickers on your piece, let's say, for example, you can't go when the judges are there because that's going to identify your piece. But what you can do is you can go find the secretary's office and you can say, "This is my piece," and you can discreetly tell them which piece it is, and they'll go and put the stickers on.
And that will put the stickers.
They
Okay.
might. Most shows won't accept late entries, so if you're late, put it back in the boot of your car. You're late.
Oh
The
God,
rules
yeah,
are there, and
yeah.
they have to be. I mean, at Cake International, there's 1,500 entries. They can't have, you know,
So many, yeah,
no,
yeah,
they can't have people arriving in at 10, 11 o'clock expecting to get a piece on the table.
yeah, yeah. It's
If you're late,
actually well. I can't understand that it's not somebody's fault if they're late. Something happened, but it's a lack of respect for the people that have been there since early
yeah,
and
I mean,
have everything
absolutely,
set up.
yeah, things can happen, absolutely, but
Yeah, but you have to
it's part of the
understand that.
rules.
Hmm.
It's
It's
part of the rules.
understandable.
You have to be there to set up between those couple of hours. So
Yeah,
follow it. But yeah, that's it. But what I would say is when you go, yeah, we'll all tip over to the thing. Normally, they will. So if you have a 2 or 3 day show, normally what they'll do is they'll judge on day one. Results are out day two. So
yeah.
there's no point in being over there and hanging around and waiting because you're only
Just
wrecking
go
your
have
event.
fun, have a
Go
drink,
have
and
fun.
relax.
Go have fun. We've worked hard enough and go have
Oh
fun.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
there's a lot to see in the shows, right? And that is
absolutely.
that is the beauty of the live shows coming back because you get to meet your cake friends, you get to meet your um, I mean, you get to meet the people who you admire that you maybe haven't been able to meet before.
Well,
You get
yeah, and I mean, take you and me, Christina. We know each other now for 2 years, maybe.
for 2 years
Ne-
online.
Never met you. Never met
Never
you. I
women
can't
never.
wait. I
Yeah,
can't
me
wait for a
too.
hug.
Me too.
I swear.
I'm so excited about everything.
Yeah.
But what I have to say, what I'm most excited about, and I said to my husband, whatever I'm paying for this trip is worth because of all the people that I'm gonna see and I'm gonna hug because I can finally hug everybody.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. It's so good.
And it's all
Uh,
that. And actually, if it is your first time, what I would say, because the show is overwhelming when you go
yeah.
first, we're talking about Cake International. What I would say, what you can do is look at the schedule of what's going on for the 3 days because it gets very, very busy. I mean, crazy busy.
Yeah.
Um, few little things you'll have morning lunchtime is crazy busy, and sometimes you can't get into the stands. I'll go away and I'll come back. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, everything quietens off, and quite often you'll see more in that hour, the last
Yeah.
hour. But what I will do is I'll go, for example, to the website. I'll see what exhibitors are there. I'll go onto their website to see, are they launching a new product that I'm interested in? Have they got offers? Are they doing pre-orders? And you can go at all that. Then you've got the theatres or display or competitions or displays. And I'll write down a list and say, I want to see this, this, this. This is on at such a
Yeah.
time.
So you organize your time in
Because,
there. Yeah.
well, to a degree, I'm not, I mean, I just wonder, I don't have any really. This year we're doing a couple of demos, so I know, right, I've got to be there at whatever time it's going to be at. But if there's specific things I want to see, I'll just scribble them down and I have them. And after that, it's just freebie.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. And
So,
what we're not going to go too deep into that today, but as we mentioned before, we're happy that the physical competitions are back, but there are a lot of online competitions as
yeah.
well. What is your thought? What are your thoughts about the online competitions? Do you think they're here to stay? Do you think it was a thing because of the pandemic, and now they may be going to slow down? Would you recommend people to participate? What are your thoughts?
I would say they'll slow down for certain
Hmm.
because I think they were really important during lockdown because it kept our industry alive. It kept our shows in our mind. And I did quite a few of them because I thought it was really important to support the industry and to support these shows. And likewise, if it's a small show, so here in Ireland we have the Cork Showcraft is on next March. Small show, small number of stands, but I just think it's so important to support it because, for example, our sugarcraft guilds and most sugarcraft guilds, they're non-profit organisation. So
Yeah.
for them to run a show, they need competitors and stand holders and all that, and it's really important. And the same with the online, for some of them to run, they need the support of the competitors. So
Yeah.
I would say for everything for for everything for live competition stands for online competitions as far as the rules and the regulations and following all that. The one thing with online that's very difficult is where you're restricted in a size, to show that size in a photograph is
Oh
very
yeah.
difficult,
And the photograph
especially with
part. Yeah, it's
yeah,
crucial.
especially with flowers where there's things hanging out everywhere and that
Yeah.
it's really hard to show it. Your photographs are obviously vital for it, or if
Yeah.
you're allowed a video because you want to show it in the best piece. When it's a physical competition, they can turn your piece 360 and they can look at it. But when
Exactly.
it's photographs, photograph is flat, so it's completely different.
And sometimes you
Um,
have a very good piece that doesn't transparent on the photograph, or a
no,
piece that is
exactly.
not that good but has a great photograph. And
Yeah,
yeah, it could be tricky. It could be a bit
yeah,
tricky. But
yeah. But I would say they'll stay to an extent, but not as much because the live
yeah,
shows are back, and it's kind of they're hard to run as well. The online are hard to run.
they are. They are.
Yeah,
I think they are hard to run. They're hard to judge,
yeah,
and
very hard
I
to
think
judge.
it was important during the pandemic, during that
Yeah,
time, to
yeah,
keep us. And for me, it was the door that opened my competition.
yeah,
Life, my
yeah,
competitive life, because
yeah,
I never participated in any before because I've never been to a show, and for me was the opportunity to, okay, let me see what happens, and then you get hooked on that thing. You're like,
yeah.
when is the next one? I want to do another one. So yeah,
I think
hard.
for me personally, I much prefer the live competitions, I have
Yeah,
to say, than the online because I find them a little bit hit and miss in that, like you say, the judging is very hard on them and they're a different kettle of fish altogether.
yeah,
Because of so many factors, the lighting, the sizes and all
everything.
of that.
Hmm.
But I would say they'll thin down a little small bit when the live shows are back. I would say from next year on, they'll definitely thin down a good bit.
Yeah,
But if you
yeah,
are doing
probably.
them, same thing. Do everything you're doing for the as if it was for a live show. But then your photographs are the most vital.
Yeah, and that, I think the only difference is to really take in consideration good photograph, even investing in professional photography if it's necessary to
Yeah.
really showcase your
If you really, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if you're
yeah,
allowed to, because I don't know if some competitions allow it or not. I usually take my own pictures, but yeah, the lighting, I take
yeah,
it in the day,
yeah.
daylight,
Or
good light,
outside, better
yeah,
outside in
good
cloudy,
lighting, black background or a one
yeah.
color background with no distractions, all of that.
And what I would do actually, when if you are thinking about whether it's online or live competition, is I would go. So most of the websites where you'll be entering the entry forms, they will have a gallery from previous years.
That's true.
So I
That's
would
true.
go into that gallery and I'd look at that and say, what's
Just
won the prizes, because it'll have them, and exactly what you're talking about. If it's an online one, so what's won? What was the background there? What
yeah,
was
just to get an idea. It's very important.
what color background is it? Outside, inside? I mean, a basic photography, they'll tell you don't photograph in bright sunlight because it
Yeah,
glares things, and things like that. So I would go back and I'd look at what has won other things. You're not going to copy it because you can't copy someone's work, but it gives you a bit of inspiration to say
it does. It
they've
does.
only half a dozen flowers, or they've only got a very small little figurine, or whatever it is, and
Yeah,
that
that's
can be a good
important too.
starting point. Yeah,
Great, great. Well,
yeah,
Miriam, this
cool.
has been amazing. So much information. I
Oh,
mean, I'm here like this. I guess the excuse of having you in the podcast is just to hear you all that I need to know to go to Cake International this year.
so I'll be
But I'm
seeing you
sure
at
it's
the
going
back
to
of the
help
hall then.
somebody else as well. I'm pretty sure. Because yes, I'm going like the first day of school. Everything is like yay, happy, yay. Let's see what happens. But when I hear you speak, it's like, oh, okay, Christina, just take it seriously because this is a real deal. So let's just focus on what you have to do. But yeah, it has been amazing talking to you
Brilliant.
today. A lot of great information, a lot of great tips to participate. And now, just I hope, like me, everybody who's listening just want to participate even more and wants
Yeah.
to try this out. If you cannot travel, or there are always the online competitions, we can do another show about the online competitions. But I think with today's show, you can have a big picture of everything that is necessary. Um, Anything else you want to add,
No, I think
Miriam,
I
before
think
we
that's.
go?
I would say do it. Just do it. Fear
Yeah.
the fear and do it anyway. That's always my motto, because you worst case scenario, you get disqualified and you learn something new.
Yeah.
That's worst case scenario.
Yeah.
So I would, for 100%, I would do it. I won't say it's easy because it's not easy, and it's nerve wracking, and I still get nervous, and I am a
I bet.
competition junkie, and I get absolutely really nervous.
Yeah.
But I would say 100% do you. The
Yeah.
benefits far outweigh anything else.
I'm sure. Yeah, it
Just
is
do
true.
just try it. If it's your first time, go small. Don't go into a big gallop, to kind of something huge. Do something that's small, something that you're comfortable with, and then go from there.
Just
And
start somewhere.
just
Yeah.
start. Just
Yeah.
just do start. It is, even if it's the smallest thing. There's a miniatures and whatever else, and just
I
start.
think
But
I'm
definitely
starting on that one, the miniature, just because I know
good.
I can carry with me.
Yeah, yeah. But
And then I
you
might do
see,
another one. I'm still thinking about it, but
yeah, and I think if you do the miniatures, then you're not panicked about X-rays and hand luggage and all that,
exactly.
and it'll leave you more comfortable than
I
going
think right
out.
now I'm more panicked about that, the carrying on the plane, that the judging per
Yeah,
se. Yeah.
carrying on the plane is fine. I've really never had a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember I did a model, one of my first entries in Cake International, and suddenly I was there the day before. I said, I've got wires in this and pins, holding it. Sure, they're going to break it apart in X-ray. Nothing.
Nothing
Never
happened. Oh,
questioned a
that's
thing.
good. That's great.
And you always overthink it,
Yeah.
So
Don't tell me about
definitely,
overthinking. That's
yeah,
me.
yeah.
That's me.
But definitely, just go for it, because the pride you'll feel and what you'll learn, I can guarantee, is far outweighs anything else.
Yeah,
Definitely worth it.
great, great. And if you can go to any cake show, and if you can go to Cake International, go meet your friends, see everyone. Actually, I don't want to finish this show without leaving a note about a sad news we had today about the loss of a very important figure to our cake community, the Chef Nicole Lodge, who, for you who do, I mean, you do flowers, it must have been like I mean, it was a shock to
Yeah,
everyone. And that shows you, I think it shows us two very essential things is how many lives you can touch in this cake
Yeah.
business, how much you can do even when you don't know you're doing it, and how important it is just to live every day and try and
Yeah.
participate and be there and be nice to each other, because life
Yeah.
is too short. And it was a sad news today. And in here in the RK Coach podcast, I just want to send a big hug and love to his loved ones, because it must be hard for them.
And I
uh,
think it just shows just life is precious. I mean,
it
he was only
is.
60 and it's just out in a flash. So I think the important thing is do what gives you fun
Oh yeah, yeah.
and enjoyment and
And
that.
be
And it is,
positive and be happy and be collaborative with everybody. Life is too short to be,
yeah.
to be
As Nick
competing
would
with
say,
each
sweet.
other and
Yeah.
lost in little
So
things.
I think it's important to have all these experiences because
Yeah,
clearly it can be taken away. As Nick would say, sweet wishes, as he would
yeah.
say himself.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice, nice. Well, Miriam, it has been a joy to having you here today. I love everything you talked about. I love having you here. We can do this all day. We can do this every day. We should do like a coffee thing, and we talk about different
Yeah.
topics and
Stuff.
once a month.
Stuff.
Let's do that because we have nothing to do. So let's do one more
Yeah.
thing.
And now you need to start because I'll see you in 12 weeks.
Oh yeah, 12 weeks. Don't tell me numbers.
12 weeks.
Don't tell
Yeah,
me numbers.
let's put you under pressure.
Okay, okay. No
A
pressure.
pleasure. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Oh, thank you, sweeties. Thank you, sweetie. And
Oh,
I will be leaving here in the description of the episode Miriam's social media, so you can check out her work. I'm sure you know her, but just in case, to check out her work and her groups. She has a private group where she teaches flowers, which is amazing. She has made me make flowers, which I don't make, and even I make flowers because of her teaching. So yeah, it's a good group. So you should be there. Thank you so much, sweetie,
thank
and
you
I'll
so
see you
much.
again. And I will leave you
Pleasure.
as I always leave everyone here. Stay safe and stay creative. See you next time. Bye bye, Miriam. Thank you.
Bye. See you guys.